right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Loser. I hope you're doing well this morning. So today I'm going to talk about the press conference that the Austin Police Department held 2 days ago regarding the Heidi Broussard case. Heidi and her baby have been missing for a week now. The baby's name is Margot. It's very rare that a mom and a 3-week-old baby would vanish right at the holidays. I don't really think the police department has anything to go off of at this point, is what it sounds like. It was a short 9-minute press conference. The guy gets on, he does a little speech saying they got all hands on deck, and then he answered some questions. And after the 4th or 5th question, some woman off camera just yells, "Last question!" And then he just answered one more, and that was it. I want to be the woman that yells last question. How do you become that woman? You're just waiting in the wings, feeling it out, the timing, and then the moment is time. Last question! But the FBI, the big thing in the speech at the beginning is the FBI is involved, which is no joke. So that means that they either have nothing or they think something really bad happened, I think. And so they said they got search and rescue, combing all the wilderness areas. They got child abduction specialists. They got the FBI. So that's good news. And one of the first questions was, is Shane Carey a person of interest? And he said, you know what, right now, we don't have a person of interest. Everything is a possibility right now. Which, a week in, I feel like that's not a great thing, a place to be at a week in. Is just everything is a possibility right now. It would be nice to have a little bit more of a idea of maybe what happened, but hopefully the FBI and everything can come in and help. There was questions about multiple domestic violence investigations between Shane and Heidi, and he just said, as part of our investigation, can't talk about it. But if that is the case and their relationship was just in the toilet or abusive or something, then maybe I was thinking that's why Shane's interview looked so bad and it looked like he was lying, because maybe he didn't have anything to do with it, and the part that he was lying about is just the fact that they were in like a good spot. You can't go on a husband TV interview with the mom and the baby missing and go, you know what? Our relationship is horrible. It's terrible. And probably should have ended years ago, but we're still together, and this new kid came, and honestly, I had nothing to do with it, but they vanished. Maybe the part that he was lying was I said I love you, and that, she's such a good mom. She's the greatest mom. Because it looked like he was lying to me. I don't know what else to say other than that interview was horrific. And some people in my last video were saying, well, the interview was just bizarre circumstances with the phone and the leaning down, and he's sleep deprived, and he looks like he's maybe on pills. And the whole thing, he's sitting in front of a Christmas tree on pills, listening to a phone down here. Maybe that's just enough that no one could look good in that interview. And then, like I said, I was thinking, well, maybe he was lying the whole time, but just not just about other stuff. And if that's the case, if it comes out after this whole thing where Shane is not involved, I don't think that people, maybe just husbands, should do TV interviews in that situation anymore. The same way, it almost reminds me of Joe Rogan. There was a controversy where he came out and said, I'm not going to interview UFC fighters that just got knocked out cold anymore. Because for a while, 2 UFC fighters would fight, and then Joe Rogan would immediately go in the ring and go first the winner and go, that was one of the most brutal spinning, flying knee kicks we have ever seen. Totally violent. What are your thoughts? And the winner's like, yeah, I've practiced that my whole life. And then they go, okay, congratulations. And then they go to the loser and go, that was one of the scariest things we've ever seen. We thought you were dead. Thoughts? And a lot of times the person would say something stupid, just like, yeah, I thought I was winning the fight or something. And everyone makes fun of them, like, what are you talking about? You said after your. And after a while, Joe was like, I'm not going to interview these people. It's just they're not in the right spot to be interviewed where that clip is going to go out to everybody. And if Shane doesn't have anything to do with this at all, it comes out, that they were abducted or something, I might feel like that as far as maybe they're just not in the right spot, maybe sleep deprived and on pills, and there's just a bunch of people in the room and there's a Christmas tree and the interviewer's on a phone and all of a sudden everyone thinks you're guilty. Or he is guilty. That's the thing too. You don't want to just be duped, right? It's a tough job to be the Austin Police Department and the FBI because there has to be a healthy amount of give this guy the benefit of the doubt. But also, I'm not just going to get duped by this guy. That interview looked a little something. And if I was in charge, I would say, Shane, can you come down to the police department? We're just working on this whole thing. We want to keep everything conversation going, see how he reacts to that. I bet he would come down, and then once he's down there, just say, Shane, we want to get past you. We wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't look into you, right? That interview you did looked pretty bad, but we're not going to go off of that. I can't imagine doing an interview in that situation. We need hard evidence. So what can you give us? What can you tell us? Is there security camera footage that we can pull up? Is there a phone ping across town at something that you would for work? Did you hang out with someone? What can you give us right now so we can move past you? You can go and start this grieving process because I can't imagine where you're at. I want you to grieve. I don't want you to be in this little interrogation room with me. I'm going to help find your wife and kid, but I got to get past you first. Let's talk about it. And then just go from there. Just be honest with them. Don't try to intimidate them or anything. Just be like, these situations, you got to look at the husband, and let's just bang it out. All right. And then what else happened at the press conference? He was saying that they are looking for them as if they're alive. And so I got some theories on how they could maybe vanish and still be alive. And then a good chunk of little chunk of information was that there is reason to believe that they went back to their apartment. For a while they were saying the last scene at the school, and now they're saying they do have evidence that put them back at the apartment. Okay, so here's some theories that just come into my head thinking about this whole thing. We'll start with that she's still alive and left on her own. So left on her own, maybe with a guy or with a friend, maybe that baby isn't Shane's. And, but I think what cuts into that theory and makes it not really realistic for me is one, she left a kid. And she also left her parents. So are you going to leave your parents and your kid behind worrying, did my mother or did my daughter get murdered? It doesn't sound like she's the type of person that would do that, but maybe. Also, what goes against that, in my opinion, is now that it's been a week and it's a worldwide story and everybody is searching through cold forest, everyone's going to work on Christmas, you would think she would come forward to a police department somewhere and say, I'm Heidi. I'm safe. I had to get away from an abusive relationship. Tell my parents, get my kid, she also didn't bring any of her money or anything. So those have to be looked into as possibilities. Maybe I'm just pessimistic. I don't see it. And then the second chunk of theories is, was she abducted? What I think goes against these theories are There's no signs of struggle in the apartment. It would be hard to abduct a new mother and her baby without the peanuts being spilled or a glass of water or a scratch or something. And then there's obviously Shane, which would seem like a Scott Peterson, Chris Watts type of deal, where maybe their relationship was in the garbage, and then all of a sudden there's this new pregnancy, and then all of a sudden there's this new baby, which is really stressful, and then it's the holidays, and then they get into a really big fight, or maybe someone already had a mistress, maybe the baby wasn't Shane's, and there was a huge fight about that, and something awful happened. And then friends, family, coworkers, something like that. Someone maybe that she was having an affair with, someone that Shane was, something like that, where it's someone they know but not Shane. So that's really all I got. I'm going to keep following it. Hope you guys are having a good day. See you next time. Why? Stop and why? Sham.